Christine, thank you for meeting with me today to talk about tinnitus and your work with Action on Hearing Loss as a tinnitus support officer and lay counsellor. As we've discussed before, I'm a solicitor who specialises in personal injury cases, and a lot of those cases deal with noise-induced hearing loss and clients who suffer with tinnitus. So really I'd like today to find out a little bit more about that condition. Can you tell me, Christine, what is tinnitus?
Tinnitus is the medical term for noises that people hear in one ear, both ears, or in the head that doesn't come from an external source. It can develop gradually or spontaneously and can be continuous or intermittent.
Okay. What does tinnitus sound like?
Tinnitus comes from the Latin word tinere, to ring. So many people describe it as a ringing, but it can also be a hissing, a humming, a whooshing. Some people notice that it's in sync with the heartbeat, and that's called pulsatile tinnitus. And for other people, they can hear music or snatches of song, which is called musical hallucinations.
Okay. What causes tinnitus?
Tinnitus can be caused from a variety of issues. It can be an ear condition, an infection. It can come from hearing loss, from sound. Overexposure to sound is one of the main causes. From some medication, and also stress is very much one of the sources of tinnitus, and issues with the temporomandibular joint.
Okay. And what is the link between tinnitus and hearing loss?
Well, when any part of the hearing mechanism becomes affected and not working properly, then we get hearing loss. And when there's hearing loss, the brain is looking for signals to interpret. And these are located in neurons. And so the neurons are looking for sounds which are no longer there because of the hearing loss. And this creates overactivity, which then is interpreted by the brain as an electrical activity, and it perceives it then as tinnitus.
Okay. And how can exposure to loud noise cause tinnitus exactly?
When people are exposed to loud noise, for example, if they're working with heavy machinery or in the services where there's maybe been firearms or explosions, the inner ear has a part called the cochlea, and within that there are sensory hair-like cells which are there to transmit sound and also to interpret that sound. And they become damaged from the exposure to the loud noise, and they can't repair themselves.
Okay. Is there a cure for tinnitus?
At the moment, there is no single cure for tinnitus. There is a lot of ongoing research which is making great strides, but there are various therapies which people can use in order to help them to learn how to manage their condition.
Okay. And can you tell me a little bit more about those therapies exactly?
Well, yes. A lot of people get support from one-to-one sessions with people, either within the trusts or myself. I have the condition, so I can empathise with people and give various ideas on what worked for me, although it is very much an individual thing. CBT therapy helps us to look at why we react in particular ways, and helps us to find, it's not to deny the negative thought, but to find a positive balancing one in order to make progress. And then various therapies to help with stress management, such as aromatherapy, reflexology, emotional freedom technique, visualization. So there are a lot of therapies there which can help people to relax about the condition and gain control.
Okay. In light of my work, I'm obviously discussing tinnitus symptoms frequently with clients, and I can relate to a lot of what you're saying here today. Clients will often not be aware that there is assistance out there. What advice could you give me to pass on to them, sort of in terms of where they could seek support? I know you've said that in your role that you deal with a lot of that. Are there any external sources where they could access support?
Well, it's very important that people do see their GP first of all, who would then refer them to ENT just to check everything out. And if there is a hearing loss, they would then be referred on to audiology, possibly to receive a hearing aid. Action on Hearing Loss have a tinnitus support service, which I deliver around the province. And also the trusts, the respective trusts, wherever your clients live, will have services, sensory support services. So they would be also a very frontline place of contact to get support.
Christine, thank you so much today for sparing your time to share your obvious knowledge with me about tinnitus and how it can affect people. I'm deeply grateful to you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.